Hey guys, real quick, before we get into the video today, I just wanted to let you know Cardo is currently running a flash sale in North America. 25% off the entire store if you use the code SPITE10 by clicking that link down in the description below. That's going to end today, though, so you're going to have to act fast if you want to save a little bit of cash. Otherwise, you can use the code tomorrow, but it's only going to get you 10% off.
G'day mate, welcome back to the channel, and today we got some news fresh from a wallaby about Harley Davidson. Down in Australia, they're revealing something brand new. I apologize to all the people in Australia. Yeah, that was a war crime, but the bigger war crime is actually the opinion I'm gonna drop today. It is my most... Oh, this is gonna piss off so many Harley people. It is my most aggressive opinion about Harley Davidson, and are you ready to see all the fireworks? Because I'm ready to see all the fireworks.
Okay, so horrible Australian accents aside, we do actually have some news from Australia, and it's news that I was expecting, and I believe it's going to develop exactly the way that I'm going to predict here, because I can't imagine Harley Davidson missing this opportunity. It seems like it would be a massive swing and a miss, and there's no way that they're going to potentially give up a ton of cash and new customers. No way a business would do that. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do expect it to happen sooner rather than later. So, what are we talking about? Well, this news story today comes to me from a member over on Patreon. Actually sent me a link to Harley Davidson's official Facebook page from Australia. He goes by the name of Livewire Simp. I'm assuming he is a Livewire Simp in Australia. And on September 1st in Australia, they are going to be unveiling the Benellis, the 350 and I believe it's a 500 based on the Leoncino. Now, I'll have all the specific specifications on screen. I honestly can't remember them all just because it's two different motorcycles. It's been a minute since I've talked about these, but suffice it to say, these are the motorcycles that are being badged by Harley Davidson in partnership with QJ Motors. Now, QJ Motors is a big Chinese company that has been building engines for bikes like the Benelli line. And I used to think that they were part of CF Moto. They are not. At least that's my understanding. So they're a completely separate company. They do the Leoncino. I believe they also do the motors for Moto Morini, and I believe they build them. But Harley Davidson announced a while back that they were going to be making these motorcycles in Asia. And by a while back, I mean a while back. I covered this story on the Yamcast many moons ago. And back then, I said what I'm going to say now. This is a good thing. This is a very good thing for Harley Davidson. It's going to piss people off. People are going to be concerned about the quality. But this is a good thing for the motor company. And that right there is the opinion that is going to piss so many people off. But it's just a reality. And we're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But let's talk about the news. So they're bringing this motorcycle to Australia. Originally, it was understood that these bikes were only going to be made available in China. A lot of people say that they're ugly. I actually kind of like the look. And I like the look of the Benellis too. The 350 XRA and the X500. Love the look of them. I think they look really kind of classic flat track Harley inspired. A lot what they were going with the street rod is what's still in these bikes today, and I am a huge fan of the street rod. In fact, I bought personal flex here. I bought the first ABS equipped black street rod in Texas. The first one. I owned it. So There you go, Harley Davidson. I'm one of the people who bought a street rod. I bought it new at a dealership. Now, at the time when this story first broke that the X350 and the 500 were coming, I actually got confirmation from my contact at Harley Davidson, Heavy Breather, that these were not going to be made available in the US. Now, he didn't say at the time, he didn't say forever they were going to be unavailable. I'm going to append at the time at his statement. Again, Heavy Breather said they were not going to be made available for sale because they were going to be the Rider Academy bikes, XRA Rider Academy. And I thought that was odd. I really thought that was strange. Now we're seeing them go to Australia. This is what I was expecting to see. A slow rollout with these bikes, and I believe they're eventually headed to the United States. Here's where we're really going to light the Harley Davidson beard on fire and just piss off so many people. Harley has to bring this to the United States. They have to. They absolutely must, if they want to survive, bring this bike or one like it to the United States. And here's why. What is one of the things I keep saying in every single review of Harley Davidson? Every single review that I make with a Harley Davidson, what do I say? In the end, in the wrap-up, I love the bike. I would buy one. Not at this price, though. It's pretty much my refrain when it comes to the Harley Davidson bikes generally, even the Livewire. Yeah, I love their motorcycles. They're phenomenal bikes. I can't afford to buy one. And I said the same thing about the 975 Sportster. I think it's a phenomenal bike. It handles beautifully. It is the best in terms of, not in terms of aftermarket, but in terms of what you get from the dealership. It's the best Sportster ever made. It's better than Sportster S because it still looks like a Sportster. It's better than any of the Evos because the motor is better. It delivers more power. It handles better. It's like a Rebel 1100. But it's $15,000. I'll have the exact price on screen. It's an expensive motorcycle, man. And you are getting a premium riding experience, but this is also supposed to be their beginner bike? You're going to start people on a $15,000 motorcycle making 90 horsepower and like 90 foot-pounds of torque or something like that? No. I've talked to people in Harley-Davidson who are like, yeah, this is a beginner bike. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. Yeah, you do get some people who start on like Softails and stuff, but then a Softail's 100 horsepower is entirely different from the RevMax's 100 horsepower. They're completely different motorcycles, and I would not at all recommend getting a Sportster 975 as your first bike. Horrible idea. But what that means is that since the Sportster lineup is now tuned to high dollar riders and more expensive bikes, and they're too fast for beginners, there's nothing for a beginner to start on the Harley Davidson lot. And honestly, there hasn't been for a long time. The Iron 883 was really the only option that you could consider affordable and in a beginner weight and power category. All the other bikes, they're not meant for beginners. And you know what? Maybe Harley Davidson doesn't care about beginners. Maybe all they want to do is, get Social Security checks. Okay, fine. I highly disagree with that idea. I think that's a very, very bad plan. And you're not going to get people into the brand that way. And what they need to do is they need to reach out to the new generation of riders. Folks who are younger than I am. Because I'm not the newest generation of rider anymore. There are people 10 years younger than me getting their first motorcycle, and I want them to get a Harley Davidson, but they can't afford it, man. I could barely afford to buy a house today. I certainly cannot afford the note for a Harley Davidson, even if it has like a 12-year term. So what they need to do is they have to put a cheaper motorcycle available for the States. And the fact that they're going to potentially have people going to their MSF course who have never ridden before, and they're going to get on the 350, and they're going to be like, oh, I want to buy this motorcycle because I'm familiar with it. Well, fuck you, you can't, because it's not available in the States. What the hell, man? What the hell? At least make the 500 available in the US. Sure, it's the Leoncino motor. Yeah, it's not the most inspiring thing. Yes, it's not a true Harley Davidson. I don't care. You have to get new riders into the brand. This is the only way you're going to do it. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. You are getting some new riders who are interested in the bigger Harley Davidsons, but their financials showed a very, very small growth in sales. I think it was like a 4% overall change in Q2 or something like that. It was a very lackluster report. I think it was generally framed positively, but I'll have that detail up here on screen, and I'll revise all this if I'm wrong. Now, I'm going to address something that I have addressed 1,000 times already, and I'm going to continue to address because people continue to be wrong about this. Reliability on these Chinese motors is not a problem. I guarantee you it's not a problem. They've been building motors forever. Are there going to be some issues with it? Sure, there's issues with everything, even Hondas. I was on a Fireblade that exploded underneath me. It blew out all the oil in the motor instantly. And that was a $30,000 motorcycle. All motors have problems, but people who are like, oh, it's going to be unreliable, you're just wrong. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. There's a reason why KTM is outsourcing their parallel twins to China. It's cheaper for them to manufacture, and it's cheaper to manufacture, and they're up to snuff. The motors are QC'd. They're good motors. And I know a lot of people are going to talk about the Hawk, man. I'll tell you what, after I fixed a lot of the little problems on the Hawk, the motor is fine. The motor is doing exactly what it needs to for a little air-cooled 229cc bike. I put good oil in it, and it's running fine. I need to tune the carburetor, but that's my problem, not the bike's. It drives me nuts hearing these people in the comments who are like, unreliable, not gonna work, no dealer network. Dude, they're servicing these X350s at Harley dealers right now because they have to. The guys are trained up in dealing with this. Now, there are some people out there who are going to be like, oh, but you're supporting the CCCP or whatever. And, okay. I mean, we decided to do that when we shipped all of our manufacturing over to China because it was cheaper than manufacturing here. And we as a nation decided that we wanted cheaper goods faster versus more expensive goods at higher quality. This problem is not new. This is the result of decisions made in the 80s. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, this is the thing. We've all become conditioned to want cheap stuff now. And yeah, back in the day, were there issues with Chinese products? Yep. Are there still issues with the way that China treats its workers? Yup. But you know what? These are the motorcycles that we have right now. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Not everybody is as tuned in to all of these factors within and without of the motorcycling industry. Some people just want motorcycle. And if they find a cheap bike, whether it's a Benelli, or it's a Harley it's a badged Harley, or it's a CF Moto, they're gonna buy the bike because it's got a bunch of features and it's cool. We can't just continue to write these bikes off, because if we do, we're gonna suddenly they're gonna take over everything, and we're just gonna be like, what happened? You know, they've been sitting in the dark, slowly making themselves better, and people have been ignoring them for long enough. I'm not ignoring them anymore. They're going to change the motorcycling market, and you can either adapt or you can die. I know I came off a little bit edgy in this section, but this is really my understanding of the marketplace, just from being in it as a consumer and from having ridden these motorcycles. I've ridden a lot of these Chinese bikes. Are they the best? No. Are they the most thrilling? No. But they are as good as the entry level from Japan. 100%. They just are. So let me know what you think about all of this down below. Do you think that Harley-Davidson should bring at least the 500, the X500, to the States? Do you think that there should be more beginner options from Harley-Davidson? Or do you think that Harley-Davidson should just be, you know, the luxury bike brand that you only go to buy, you know, one $30,000 motorcycle once in your life from, that you just keep forever? You know? And, you know, I've said this a lot about Cardo, actually. Cardo makes a product that lasts so long that they don't sell as many as they would like, because the product just lasts forever. You could say the same thing about Harley-Davidsons. Those bikes just last forever. You still see 80s era Harleys all the time. They just last. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. And I'm prepared for the rage in the comments sections. Bring it on, baby. Catch you guys in the next one. See you later.